and welcome to the Ask Show. Today we are going to be discussing the past about the industrial working conditions in the 18th century. Plus, we are going to tell you about the unfair child labor laws that are currently happening in Africa. Here's Sam on industrial working conditions in the 18th century.
Industrial work conditions in the 18th century were very unsafe, and they put lives of many people in danger. In many industries, most of the workers were women and children, and many immigrants such as Chinese, Italian, and German and Irish. They worked in sweatshops, which were a manufacturing workshop where workers toiled long hours under poor conditions for low pay. Workers who worked with textiles or mines would get lung disease from breathing in fibers of dust all day. Steel workers were at risk for major burns or even death from the molten metal. Children worked in sweatshops suffered loss of many limbs and body parts because of the heavy-duty, dangerous machinery that they were working with. Capitalism in the 18th century drove the Industrial Revolution because the companies and corporations would make many products faster, cheaper, and more efficiently. Entrepreneurs would look at what the market wanted and needed and create those products. Businesses started becoming huge monopolies, big companies that controlled most or all businesses in a particular industry. Capitalism allowed the free enterprise to make it so privately owned businesses could compete freely without government regulations. This caused many problems. Sweatshops started to appear. Sweatshops were manufacturing workshops which worked for long hours under poor conditions for low pay. Immigrants moved to America because they thought it was a land of the opportunities. They could make whatever they wanted, and they could get what job they wanted. Many groups of immigrants who would come were being taken advantage of, and because they did not speak English. In the West Coast, Chinese immigrants were drove out of mining camps and cities and even killed. People felt like they had to work in these conditions because they had nowhere else to work and nowhere else they could make as much money. During this time, many organizations were formed to fight against the unfair working conditions. The Knights of Labor was a group who fought for women, African Americans, immigrants, and unskilled workers. They earned support through public rallies, the American Federalists of Labor, or AFL. They would only admit skilled workers. They only believed that the collective bargaining would win them improvements. Collective bargaining was the unions negotiate with managers for workers as a group. Other organizations was the Women in Labor movement. They went around the nation campaigning for unions and gave the support to miners.
Now to Aiden about Burkina Faso, Africa.
In Burkina Faso, 40% of children between 5 and 14 work in child labor. Children as young as 13 were working 14 hours in the blazing sun each day. Women also worked in the cotton fields. In 2007, Victoria's Secret made a deal with Burkina Faso to buy their cotton. Victoria's Secret markets their underwear, claiming it's from organic fair trade cotton. In 2004 and 2005, the U.S. subsidized local farms by giving them $4.2 billion to build larger farms. This caused overproduction of cotton, which lowered the price. Burkina Faso earns about 50 US cents per kilo, whereas Victoria's Secret's highest paid model gets over $45 million, and their lowest earns $6.5 million. These women and children work crazy hours with little or no food each day. So we ask you now, what's on your tag?
Kayla, what do you think the solution is for child labor in Burkina Faso? I think we should boycott Burkina Faso's cotton. Yes, we should!
Recording.
So we ask you, what's on your tag?